Hola, my amigos. As as told in a previous video, I've decided to do something different. You may notice here, D&D starter set. You may be like, what? Why is there a D&D starter set? Well, I'm gonna talk about RPGs today. Just because. So Thursdays are going to be just random stuff, but I'm planning on not having them be video games. Because video games are not our entire life. No matter how much we want to believe that. Okay, so this is pretty much my collection. Of course, that was upside down, and as such, everything else underneath it's upside down. Monster manual, player's handbook, and my DMG. I really got nothing prepared for this. I don't write scripts. Scripts are dumb. Except for if you want them. So, what brought me into this? Well, I'll tell you. It's my father. He has this book. It's called GURPS. This thing's really intense. I was really bored one summer. So I read through all... Well, I didn't read through the last ones. 213 pages of information about this thing. And there's a lot. Like, let's see. Quick start. This thing says that all you need to know to play this game is this one page. So I was like, huh. I don't think this should be very complicated. But then we actually get into the character creation, and it's like, okay, well, point cost, they have a point system. It's not that complex. Physical appearance, not that exciting. Wealth, this is insane. Advantages and disadvantages. You have to spend so many points. You spend a lot of points just trying to get your skills up. And then you get these disadvantages, which are bad for you, but they give you stuff which gives you room for advantages and skills. Yeah. And skills are all like, okay, so let's spend like 30 of your character points just so that you have a 1 in 18 chance of not failing. So I was all like, maybe let's do something not so complex. That's where this thing came in. I was all like, whoa, D&D? Huh, that's a larger frame than I thought. And so I got the starter set. It's just some of my dice that I bought. A notebook. This was a pretty good thing. This brings me out to my story. My story of my first ever game. Man, I'm really rambling. But this is how I talk in real life, so you know, whatever. Yeah, it was a weird first game. So nobody else knew what they were doing. I didn't know what I was doing. So like, okay, I'll be the dungeon master. That's the person who runs the game. Mind you, this is the first experience I've ever had with this entire system. So I got 2 friends to play, and we played for like an hour, and they were like, I have no idea what's happening, let's not keep playing. Okay, so we put it away. And 1 month later, I had this friend, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'd love to play D&D with you. I think that would be really fun. I'd love that very much. And we continued from where the completely separate other friends left off. Definitely not my first mistake, but probably the worst one. And then we just went with it. We skipped over some rules, like arrow rules. You have to count your arrows. We pretty much just give our bows the infinity enchantment. Haha, Minecraft joke. And so we got through a dungeon, and we're like, okay, hey, how about next week? How about we play next week? Amigos, it took us 2 months to meet up again. 2 months. And then that game went well. I must admit that. And then we never played again. We were like, okay, this is dead. It had been like even more than 2 months since the last time we played. Or like, there's no point to continue to attempt to play this game. So yeah. That was a long and rambly story, and I gave you no details. That's fun. So, I guess we'll also continue on. So yeah, I got this. I still use this box to this day, even though I don't really play too much D&D. I know people who play it, but definitely during the pandemic is not a great time. And then 2 months later, at Christmas, I was blessed with this great gift from Santa. Yeah. I was like, oh, whoa. I could actually create a character now. I didn't feel like an idiot. This camera frame is way too big. I wanted a big camera frame, but I didn't expect it to be this big. So I'll have to do some experimentation, because I don't do multiple takes. It's more authentic. So I got this, but then I realized I was trying to make my own game. They tell you nothing on how to make a world or run it at all. So that's why last Christmas I got the DMG and the Monster Manual. This was my favorite book. A lot of cool lore. I'm keeping those on your frame. And yeah. There's one more story to tell. This one's fun. So, my youth group, for church, we were like, okay, it'd be fun to play D&D. You know who'd be fun? You know who'd be funny to throw under the bus? Me. They were like, okay, so none of us have any idea what we're doing. So, but you kind of sort of know what you're doing. And I did, but not really. I just had a player's handbook that I read multiple times. So I went to my local library, because I have a cool local library, and they have D&D books. And I got an adventure set in Waterdeep. Dragon Heist, that was what it was called. I don't have it with me, so just gonna gonna put a placeholder here. There you go. That's a dragon right there. And it was really good. I enjoyed it. We played for like an hour with characters that I came up with myself. They were absolutely terrible, but you know. They weren't expecting too much. It's not in a bad way. It's not really in a great way either. It was bad. Played for an hour, and we were all like, you know, it's like 1 in the morning. Maybe we should stop before we start hypnotizing, or we start thinking that our sleep paralysis demons are there. Hypnosis. Hallucination. Words, you know. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Haven't played D&D since. And why am I telling you this story? I couldn't think of anything else. I was like, okay, let's do music. Let's do something on music. But I was really scared I was gonna get copyright striked. So that didn't happen. So I decided to talk about D&D. Maybe I'll have a more cohesive, non-rambly talk about it in the future. Not next time. Next time I'll do, I don't know, I'll figure it out 10 minutes before I start filming, like this one. Okay. Ciao, amigos.